There's a Welsh word I learned several years back. It's Hiraeth. I've read there's no direct translation of the word to English, but that it means a feeling of homesickness or nostalgia for places and people who are long gone. I believe the manner in which the word lonesome is used in the Appalachian Mountains is pretty close to the meaning of Hiraeth, if not spot on. We use lonesome to describe that bittersweet feeling of remembering and longing for a time that's no longer here. Maybe it's grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins who no longer walk the same paths you do. Maybe it's your very family, mother, father, brother, sister, or children. Or just maybe it's a home place that now belongs to someone else or that has been totally erased by time and progress. The Dictionary of Smoky Mountain English has this entry for lonesome. Lonesome, adjective of an inanimate object or place, lonely, forsaken, desolate. 1834, Crockett narrative, our little children would be in a lonesome and unhappy situation if I went away. 1941, Hall collection, the Shepherd of the Hills was the lonesomest picture I ever saw. 1992, Gabbard, Thunder Road. They chose a mountain laurel thicket at the base of a lonesome hillside far removed from prying eyes. 1993, Paris Folklore. There's nothing as lonesome as an owl a-hootin' in the night, the old man said. While I agree with the entry, I believe it leaves out the human connection I was talking about, those strong ties that bind us to people and places. Do you ever get lonesome? I do. Different things make me feel lonesome. Granny has always said being by herself makes her feel lonesome for the days when she was a child in a bustling household of a big family. In the last years of Pap's life, she didn't hardly let him get off the hill and away from her. Even though we don't see her every day, when we go off on a trip, Granny says the holler is plumb lonesome without us. When the girls were young and gone during the day, it didn't bother me much, but if they went off to spend the night somewhere once it got dark, I missed them something fierce, and missing them made me feel lonesome. When I'm away from home for several days, all I have to do is start thinking of Granny and Pap and the rest of my bunch, and I get such a lonesome feeling I can barely stand it. Sometimes it's something downright silly that makes me feel lonesome. One time I was at work and a gentleman came in wearing overalls. He nodded to me and walked on. On his way out he asked me a question. When I answered, he said, "Oh, you're from here. Where do you and your people live?" After he left, I felt so lonesome that I wanted to run out, get in the car, and go home as fast as I could. I wanted to go piddle in my kitchen, kick dirt in the garden, stick my hand in the cold water of Stamy Creek, or sit around Pap and Granny's kitchen table and listen to what they were talking about. Pap always said talking about old times made him feel lonesome. One time I was driving Pap out to the VA hospital at Oteen, and we got to talking about a family we used to spend a lot of time with. Pap grew up with the husband, and Granny just loved the wife. but we hadn't spent time with them in over 20 years. As we talked about the family, Pap and me both got lonesome. Lonesome for a family we no longer see, lonesome for a time and place no amount of wishing could take us back to. Several years ago, Etheline Dyer Jones wrote a guest post for me about being lonesome. She said, "What brings on that lonesome feeling? Sometimes it can be triggered by a sight, a sound, a memory, a gravestone, a picture on the wall, a favorite place now vacated of a favorite person. Here I sit like a friendless wayfarer, a desolate person, lost and alone, forsaken, forlorn, no friend to cheer me, an outcast, destitute, and far from home. Why sit I here with clouds around me, secluded, outcast, far from home? If I but arise and travel homeward, I'll find welcome there, no more sad and lone. Those first steps taken, the rest come easily. As I head to the haven of rest and home, no need to keep this lonesome feeling when awaiting me are love and home." I like Etheline's post because it alludes to the complex feeling of Hiraeth or lonesomeness. There's a pleasing feeling that sits right beside the longing. Being lonesome for me is all the things I've mentioned, but it's more than that. It's the clink of coffee cups on the counter, the sound of bare feet in the hallway, the slamming screen door, guitar sounds from the couch, cigarette smoke, and spit cups. Earnest preachers hollering out the gospel, the sound of water as it runs in sinks to prevent freezing, the excitement of a weenie roast out behind the house made even better by a cold watermelon that's rested in the creek all day, the laughter of children as they see who can swing the highest on the grapevines in the Coleman Gap, guitars, mandolins, and high lonesome tenors floating out open windows as kids run in dusky dark, playing hide and seek and catching lightning bugs. While being lonesome isn't a pleasant feeling, the unique thing about being lonesome, or Hiraeth for something or someone that's gone, is with the feeling of longing, there is also a feeling of joy, a great joy for having lived and experienced the people and places that are no more.